Is Tesla getting to an attractive price valuation for us investors? This is a stock that has been on my watch list for quite some time, and I'm going to cover the bad about Tesla, the good about Tesla, and then in the end, where I would be willing to buy into Tesla and start a position. So we'll talk about everything Tesla. Before we do though, I want to show my portfolio performance. This is something I share with every single video. And I am somebody that is very transparent and honest, and I share my strategies, I share the good, the bad. So if you want to join a channel where you get to follow those along and learn a lot, this is one that I think you would enjoy, so be sure to subscribe. Now, my portfolio is down 5.1%. That's almost $2,500 in the red of unrealized losses. And you can take a look at all my stocks. They're divided up between the different sectors and a few extra. I recently did a video, more of a deep dive, and focused on my ETF, so be sure to watch that. I'll put it down in the description, a link to that video. But anything in red is a loss, anything in green is a gain, and in purple is the allocation by market value. So be sure to let me know if you have any questions. But let's get right into this video. Like I said, we're going to cover the bad and the good about Tesla stock. And before we do, let's look at their performance recently, or shall we say over the last couple years. This stock has had a dramatic crash from its all-time highs. This stock is down 66%. That is massive. That is not a good thing for a lot of investors that got into the stock over the last couple years. So with Tesla, Elon did respond to this negative stock performance. And Elon mainly blamed it on the macro environment, which is, I think, an easy way to explain this because that's happening to all companies. But the fact that this is happening to a large company like Tesla with a lot of promise means there's something else going on, or maybe a few extra things. And you'll see here, this article also points out Twitter, some issues with China, and supply chain issues as well. So we will definitely cover these in the good and the bad points. And let's get right to that. Let's start with the bad things about Tesla. And the first thing is something that I have stressed over the few times I did cover Tesla, and it's proven to be something that has developed into a reality, unfortunately. And the bad, what I consider almost the number one bad with Tesla, is Elon Musk himself. He is the face of this company, and he has a lot of influence. And he is right now deteriorating the brand of Tesla. Social media is dogging Elon. You look at maybe a year ago, people were very positive on Elon. Now I'm seeing a lot of people going up to others and saying, what do you think of Elon? And there's a lot of dislike and even hate for the guy. And so what this is doing, it's creating instability with Tesla. A lot of people, the fear is that right now and going forward, a lot of people will choose not to buy Teslas solely because of Elon Musk. Now, of course, there's the whole Twitter saga where he bought Twitter. He sold a lot of Tesla shares to finance that deal, which was looked at as a negative because it's like he is trying to elevate Twitter at the cost of Tesla. And that's just something that I think is pissing a lot of investors off. It would piss me off too. He needs to put his focus and attention back on Tesla and let Twitter be handled by somebody else, which he is actually doing right now. He did a poll and he's looking for a new CEO for Twitter. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe his attention will be back onto Tesla. But right now, Elon Musk is a bad point of this company. A lot of negative PR. It's just not good. To have that much influence and be in the limelight all the time, be very popular, it can choose to be very disastrous for any company. So I do like to invest in companies where the CEOs aren't well known. Just in case any of those negatives pop up, it won't be as an effect like it is with Tesla. So that's bad, point number one. The second bad thing with Tesla is it's very concentrated in electric vehicles. In fact, EVs make up 96% or over 96% of its revenue of the business. So it's very concentrated. It's not yet a diverse company. And I don't like that because that's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. And that's just something that just is adding risk. The next bad point I'm going to make is gas prices have gone up and down. And when they go down, it's less attractive to buy an electric vehicle. But there's also something else to consider, the cost of electricity when it comes to charging your car. Electricity is a cost, just like filling up at the gas pump. When you plug it into your home, that is a cost and an expense that over the years, electric companies, and look at your own local electric companies. Yes, they have to get approval usually, but these rates go up and up and up. So it's something to look into. Should you be considering an EV? And so to me, there's not really a huge cost benefit to switching from gas to electric at this point because there's still some costs associated with it. And I don't own an EV. I have some friends that do, so I definitely want to ask them some more questions. But do you have to pay at a lot of the charging stations when you park your Tesla there? What are the other costs associated? And I'm going to talk about another cost that people don't consider. My brother is in the tire industry, and he is saying that a lot of people that own EVs don't realize these heavier cars go through tires a lot more often than the gas-powered cars. And so that's an extra cost that you have to consider. You'll be replacing your tires more often than with a gas-powered vehicle. So there are some, more costs with electric vehicles or considerations I don't think people are thinking about. And once people become more educated on this, it might dissuade them from buying an EV. The next bad thing is the economy. Right now, the economy is hurting, which means people are focusing on saving and they're not going to go buy some luxurious or expensive EV right now, electric vehicle. That's just something that's not in the cards. So that can hurt this company over the next couple years until maybe the economy recovers and people have a little bit more cash to spend on something like a new vehicle. And then the next bad thing is China. China's unpredictable. Their government is unpredictable. COVID cases are expected to rise dramatically in China, which means there's worries about more lockdowns and shutdowns of cities, which means there's not going to be that much car buying. And so what Elon is doing is he's discounting cars in China to try to get those sales back up. And that can be something that is a little controversial for me. Another company called Peloton discounted their products, and to me that just takes away that kind of shine on the product as the top tier product. It starts to look more like a value product and then might not be something that people go for in the end because they want the product that has that status symbol with it. And so there's some risks there, and China is just a risk, and so that's something to consider. The next bad thing is that this stock is still expensive. It's not a cheap stock, even going down 66%. It's priced for massive future growth, and right now its PE is at a 43. Mind you, the industry automotive average is 13.94. And so later on, I'm going to show also some extra things about the PE and the market cap, but Tesla is still expensive. It's still priced for a company that should be growing massively in the future, and that's what you're betting on if you're buying into the stock right now, even after a 66% crash. So there's the bad. Now let's move to some good things, because there are a lot of good things about Tesla as well. First up, I do not say this is a good thing if you're an employee, but if you're an investor, this is a good thing. Elon announced that they're going to be doing a hiring freeze and some layoffs. So that means less expenses in the future towards salaries and things of that nature. So that should help this company's margins, etc. And so that is good. The EV tax credits are another good thing, which will incentivize a lot of people to buy EVs, and that's still in play. And there's some new legislation to get more tax credits on the cards for people to utilize. And so that's something to keep an eye on because that will help people keep considering EVs and buying them in the future. The next thing up is a big thing, and Tesla's financials are great. This company is doing excellent, especially compared to its peers. So if we look at a financial snapshot, we will see here that Tesla has a low liability to assets of 44.7%. A lot of companies I cover, even Apple has a 67% liability to asset ratio, I believe. Tesla's very good. Also, their profit margins are decent at a 29.54%, and they have positive cash flows. If we do look more into their financial statements, we will see things such as their cash over the last 5 quarters is going up. You can see from 16.4 billion all the way up to 21.5 billion just about. And if we look at their long-term debt, it's going down from about 8 billion down to 3.99 billion. So there you have two positive movements. And if we also look at their net income, we will see growth in their net income over time. It went from 1.6 billion now to almost 3 billion. I also looked at their return ratios and profit margins, and they're all very healthy. So this is a good thing for Tesla, and I think it can be something that is very positive for this company going in the future, but it's got to get around some of those bad things that I mentioned first. So financials are great. Another good thing is my bet is that Tesla will be much more than just a car company, electric vehicle company. I do think this company will diversify its services and products that it offers. I know it's going into robotics and solar, but right now EV is making up that over 96% of its revenue. So the more it diversifies, the more safe this company will become. So I do think that is I do think they're moving in that direction. Another good thing is people have short-term memory. So all this negative that's going around in the news cycles and social media with Elon and Twitter and Tesla will most likely blow over in a few months, and it'll be a thing of the past because there will be some new company with some negative PR that will take over and people can target that. So that's just another thing I see as a good. I see it happen all the time. Some big negative headline hits, it's the talk of the town for a month, and then it's gone just like that. Another good thing about Tesla is that it was one of the first electric vehicle car companies to the market, and it takes the market share of EVs at 2/3 of that market. That is impressive. When you have a market leader like Tesla, that's going to benefit it because a lot of people already own Teslas, and if they're happy with the product, maybe they're not happy with Elon, but if they're happy with the product, which I hear people are, they will keep buying Teslas or subscribe to a lot of their services, and that'll keep them loyal customers. So they have a huge positive with that, and they need to focus on increasing that market share, keeping it, so on and so forth. The next good, my last point, is that battery costs are decreasing, and that should help this company's margins and expenses in the future. So that's just another good point I want to bring up. So there we covered the bad. We covered the good. Now let's talk about my outlook. Where would I buy into this company? Well, for me, it's all about risk. And unfortunately, Elon Musk is the biggest risk with Tesla. He just has a lot of influence, and there's a lot of negative right now. And it could get to the point where a lot of people decide not to buy Tesla because of Elon and go with another electric vehicle because there's a lot out there with all the other car brands, Ford, GM, Subaru. There's a lot that all car companies are going electric. So he has to be careful because those other companies are probably drooling at the mouth right now trying to take up that market share while Elon's going through this negative time with his company, Tesla, and the stock. So for me, Tesla's market cap right now is at 435 billion. Ford, in comparison, is only at 47 billion. So again, Tesla is priced currently multiple times greater than Ford. So that means it's priced to grow a lot more because Ford sells a ton more vehicles than Tesla currently, even though it's not on the EV end, but just as a whole. And so Tesla is priced for huge future growth. So for me, if Tesla falls below $100 per share, that'll take it from a 435 billion market cap all the way down to a 316 billion market cap. And that's when I would start considering picking up some shares of Tesla. Now, if this stock falls below $85 per share, which a lot of the analysts have this as their low range, that would bring it from a 435 billion market share down to 268 billion market share. And if it gets below 85, this is when I would start a position for sure with Tesla because I feel that that is adding a certain level of safety for me to invest in for future growth. And should the company go negative, I think that's a good price point to weather a lot of these storms that it's going through and potential speed bumps in the future. But I do like Tesla. I do think Elon's smart, so I don't want to make this video out to look like I'm just dogging on him as well. I think Elon is a smart guy. I just think right now he's very outspoken and he's not really thinking things through, and it's really hurting his company, Tesla. And so we'll see what he does in the next couple months. And should this stock fall below 85 and I start a position, before I do, at that point, let's say it's in 6 months, for example, I will want to do another review and analysis on this company and make sure there's not something that pops up that's a red flag that would make me say no. But as of now, if the stock fell to $85 per share, I would start a position and I would consider it under $100. So with that said, let me know what you think of the good and the bad points I covered with Tesla. If you add any more to those points, I would like to hear what they are. And also, where would you buy into Tesla, or are you in the red significantly right now? And that's something that, of course, if you're comfortable with sharing, I think it's great because this is a channel, again, I want us all to learn and grow together. I have a lot of companies in the red myself, and I talk about them often. And I think it just helps us all come up with ideas and strategies and bounce things off each other. So let me know your opinions. If you agree with my buy-in price points for Tesla, do you think it will even get there? I think it's a strong possibility. And so with that said, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Mark Arnold's Finance. And I probably won't put out a video till after the holidays possibly. So if that's the case, I hope you guys have a very nice holiday and time off of work, hopefully, and all that good stuff. So again, with that said, we'll see you next time. Have a great day.